Welcome to Reiki with Mariah. This video is going to be talking about my principles. So I'll be talking about 6 of my principles today. And I made these principles in order for my students to get a better understanding of where I'm coming from and my values. So obviously there's no need or you're not obligated to believe in these principles or execute them in any way, but it's just a better, for me, it's a better way to operate in the world. So for the first principle, it is the greatest relationship you will ever have will be with the spirit that's inside of you. And through my journey, I realized that I only have myself, and my external surroundings is always changing. So the people in my life are always changing. Some people are stable and are there in some capacity, obviously family and things. But a lot of things change when you're going through your journey. And you have to build a strong relationship with yourself. Talk to yourself. And when you start to connect to different levels of yourself and the spirit that's within you, you have full conversations. And when I had my Reiki attunement, it opened up a third perspective or sort of an objective view of myself that I was able to communicate with. So I was able to connect to a higher version of myself that wasn't sucked into like life dramas and that knew that like this was important. Like we have to do these little things because it's going to create a bigger outcome. It's going to create a bigger impact. And as I've been through like my levels in teaching and life and relationships and family, I've always noticed that there's been like a drop where I'm going through a lot of changes and shedding, and it feels like I'm completely alone. Nobody gets what I'm going through. I feel lost. But I go into that space of feeling that lostness, but then realize that I'm okay, that I have myself and I have that connection to something outside of me. The next principle, the second one, is never give pity. And this is a teaching that my master passed down to me. Because when we give pity, we devalue someone else's ability to heal themselves. Because everybody can become a Reiki practitioner. Everyone can channel energy through their body and heal their own bodies and help heal other people's bodies through a channel. And when we give pity, it's like, oh, well, you can't do this for yourself, so I have to do it for you. And it's sort of like an ego trip, or you're creating some sort of hierarchy construct in your mind, and you feel all righteous and you're on your big chair and all the things. But when we heal, when we give from a place of equality, where we are both equal, and you're in a certain space of growing right now, and I'm in a space of growing where I can give a little bit more, then that's what I will do, because things always flip. So when you're going through your a certain dip, they might give to you, and we're not doing this just that we can go back and forth with our transactional give and take, but we want all our interactions to be resurrectional. So we want to help people rise and come to a higher space of consciousness. My third one is nothing dies. So depending on your belief system, I believe that if something like you moving to a new space, a part of you is going to die. The part of you that lived that certain life in that certain place doing those certain things dies. But you're reborn. You're reborn as a new version of you in this new place doing new things in a new country or whatnot. And when somebody passes, it's like the physical body passes, but the spirit, the energy of that person still exists. And that's why some people can communicate to that spirit or that version of that spirit, because it still exists, and it might reincarnate as something, or it might just float around forever, or it might go back to source, whatever you believe in. But everything has to have a cycle. Nothing is completely done. My fourth principle is everything can be a ceremony and a catalyst for change. And something as simple as preparing a meal that looks delicious and having it in front of you and honoring it. And when you're in your level 1, you're taught that you want to bless all your food. So you're doing the shokure and increasing the energy of all your food so that you're pumping in good energy. It's like if you're eating healthy food and you're putting the energy of intention and the shokure on top, then you're just increasing the vibration of the food. And that can be a ceremony. You're honoring your body and you're honoring the food that you're going to be eating. And it could be that meal that makes you have a certain thought because you have such clarity and such cleanness in the body that maybe you changed something in your life and all it took was a meal that you took longer to make. It could be you walking down the street and bumping into someone that you haven't met before and you have a certain conversation and you start to get all these ideas and then you decide to do something different. It's just we have to pay attention and have the awareness of this could be actually important and this could maybe something that I need to integrate into my life. The fifth principle is beauty is the reflection of health. My master told me that his master told him this teaching, and it's so true because the people that are taking care of their bodies and like they honor health and want to be a representation of health and work on their own health states in physical, mental, emotional, energetic, all the things. You can tell because there's a certain aura around them. Like you feel soothed in their space. And usually those people that are working on all the different bodies and they're healthy, they have a certain glow to them. And it's not about like physical structure, even though when you are energetically balanced, the bone structure like fixes itself. It just like there's just a certain attraction and beauty to someone that's full of life. The next principle is when you sit down for attunement, you're asking for massive change. Because a lot of people want to do a level 1 attunement because it's something to do. But it's not just something to do because you're asking for massive change. You're asking for the energy, a very potent love energy, to go down and through your channel and hit all your chakras. And for you to go, you're asking for a 21-day cleanse where you have no idea what's going to happen. You're asking for such a deep cleaning. And when you ask for that such deep cleaning, it's like you are expected to honor that, to respect that, and to maintain that. And that's why we teach you how to self-heal and do all the things, because you have to be able to maintain the cleaning of the body, because our surrounding, our external environment isn't like super ideal. There's like cars and pollution and there's pesticides on our food and maybe the water isn't as alkaline as you want and like all these things. But if you have the tools in order to compensate for that, then you can maintain the health in the body. And when you're doing your level 1 attunement, you're learning like symbols and you're learning the history, and then but that's like just the tip of the iceberg, because everything expands so rapidly after, if you commit to the process, if you commit to yourself and to your health. Because after that 21 days, you can see if you've committed enough to your practice.